Hello everybody, in this tutorial I will show you how to use the Slice package that is on the marketplace right now. You find the link in the description to the marketplace page, and you can purchase the Slice package, download, and open the Slice level that is inside the package. Once you have done this, we can start the tutorial. I will go through all these steps and I will show you how to use all the actors and the meshes you find inside the package. Let's start. For the first step, set up the scene. When I say set up the scene, I mean that you need to just go to the Slice folder, Blueprints, Player, grab this blueprint here, the BP slow time control, and drag it inside the scene. This blueprint is very important and must be dragged on every level you have, because it controls the slow, fast changing time and interacts and is called by all the moving objects, so bullets, enemies, and so on. I've already done this, so I will cancel this blueprint. And actually, if you go here in the list of the actors, you find the time control folder I created, and this is the time control blueprint that is in the level. Okay, so let's go back here to the player and let's go to the second step, Sliceable Meshes. Sliceable meshes are all the mesh you can create in order to be sliceable as many times you want. To create a mesh to be sliceable, you have to grab this blueprint here and put it in the level. Once done, this is already sliceable as many times you want. If you want to change this mesh, you have the options on the bottom right under the Slice editor folder, and you see that you can change the mesh, the material, the mesh scale, and physics, input strength, and the mass. So let's see, for example, I have this kind of mesh. Let's see how I want to grab this mesh, make it red, for example, make it bigger, and I can already start slicing this mesh. As you see, this mesh has already got all the physics when I start my game, and I put back the scale to 1. And let's say that you have your level with a sort of tree or whatever mesh, a column in a temple, whatever mesh that is not properly vertical. So when you start, it will start falling, which is not good. So if you want this mesh to stick where it is on the beginning of the game, just remove this initial mesh physics. So you remove the mesh physics just on the initial of the game. So if I press play, you see this column doesn't move, and even if I hit, it doesn't move. The physics will go on when I start slicing. So I do the first slice, and then it will go on. I can also change the impulse. For example, I put 10, and I start again at level. Not as strong as before. Let's see now, I will cancel this and I will put again a new mesh to slice the level. Let's see now how you can use other kind of static meshes. I have here some assets, free assets, or also not free, but I will only use this for this video. For example, these kind of assets. So let's look for some static meshes. For example, this. I will show you. Okay. This one, I will show you the two things which are needed to make this mesh or other meshes sliceable. One is this. So you go here and you search for CPU, allow CPU access. This initially is not true, so you have to set this true. And then you have to give to each mesh you want to slice a collision. So when you see the simple collision on, go here. Let's say this is no collision at the moment. You need to set the collision, and I suggest to add this kind of collision, 26 DOP simplified collision, which is the best I found when testing the slice on the meshes, or this, or the convex kind of collision. But this one is the best one. So once you have done this, you can get your mesh here, put it in the slice static mesh of the editor, and that's it. Then you can start slicing this mesh. Let's say I want to put a bigger size, and here it starts slicing. I can duplicate the mesh with the Alt key. I can do the same with this other mesh, for example. Again, allow CPU access true, collision this one, which is here, save it. I put this mesh, you see is smaller, so I increase again. I want to put 4 and slice. Okay, let's see now how can I use also these kind of meshes like doors. This is a door, or this, which is a floor. You can make also these, or a wall, as you want to see it. You can make also these sliceable. Again, go to the CPU, enable the CPU, this one, and also this CPU, enable this. Check if they have the collision, so you see they have the collision here, and also here they have the collision. Okay, so let's close this, and let's see how to use these two assets to create something new. I will delete this and this, and I will again put a new mesh to slice in the level, like this. And for example, now I want to use the door. I want to use this, so I grab this here, and if I click play, I see that this door, okay, it stays there, is moving when I touch it. So the thing here is like I did with the column before, I set to false the initial mesh physics. So if I click play now, you see I can go through the door and it doesn't move. Even if I hit, it doesn't move. And then I can also slice. So and you open the door like this. It can be also a cage in a medieval game or whatever. In the same way, I can create a floor. So I can put this floor here. Okay, let me copy this mesh like this. I get this floor I had before and I put it like here, like this. I rotate this mesh. And I put it here, for example. So now I have these two meshes. Door here. Also this. Let's say, for example, that I don't want the floor to be sliceable, but only the walls around. So I will rotate this to make it a wall. And I also rotate, duplicate, and I make the wall on the other side, like this. Like this. And then, for example, if I don't want to slice the walls, I can put just the simple static mesh here as a floor, as you do normally in a level. So I just do like this, I rotate this mesh, and I place it like this. Okay, now I've done this very quickly, so just to give you the idea. Okay, so you see the floor is not sliceable. If I touch here the wall default, with the change physics, I can slice this, I can slice this many times more, and also as a fun example of the static meshes and of these blueprint slice meshes, I want to show you this corridor, two-level corridor I just created. I took 20 minutes to create this. I created the corridor with static meshes. As you can see, these are not sliceable meshes, just static meshes. So there is a second level here and a ground level here. And then I created all blueprints like the doors and all inside these furnitures here. With this blueprint, the slice static mesh blueprint. So we have the pipes here, the lights, some boxes, and also I want to show you, just to give you an idea on how you can create a level using this blueprint. Some pipes here you have to slice from the second level ground to go in the ground level, or here to exit from here. So I show you better if I color these all red. You will understand. I impose the red material on the mesh's original material, so you see these are all the sliceable meshes you can interact with. And I put also a few lights where there are these light meshes. And now I remove the material, and we will use the original mesh material. And let's play this level, and I show you how you can really interact with this level. I put full screen, so we have the player going around. These are all static meshes, so you can slice these, the ground and the walls. You can slice this door, for example, and you can go here, and for example, you want to go in the other level below, so you start like this, and you see it will go here. You can continue the meshes. You can slice all the furnitures. Okay, and this was just an example. You can create quickly a structure like this using just a few meshes, because I really use so let me stop this. I really use a few meshes you can find here. This, by the way, is a free marketplace asset, is a sci-fi asset, and I really use these, and I place these inside the corridor using my blueprint. So I just get each mesh, I open it, I set the CPU through, I set my collision to this collision here, so you see it as a simple collision, this one, and that's it. And I place all these meshes. I just rotate it if needed, and so on. I played with when I rotate the mesh, I remove the initial mesh physics, because you see, if I put this, you have this kind of behavior. If you remove the initial mesh physics, you see that the mesh stays there. And this is very useful when you create these kind of shapes, because if I put the initial mesh physics, you see that this will immediately fall in the game. So we don't want this. So you have to remove this. That's it. Okay, we have completed the sliceable mesh part. Now we will pass to the chapter 3, the player and sword. How can we change the sword and also the slice material? Let's see this. Okay, so we have the player blueprint. When you open the player blueprint, I will do this right now, you will see this. This is how it's made, the sword part. So we have a katana mesh, which is this, which is the mesh we are using, the sword we are using, and we have this child actor, which is the real blade actor that makes all the slices. This actor here, which is basically this blueprint blade. This is responsible for all the blades, all the slices in the level. So if we want to change the sword and cut material, we do like this. This is the sword. The sword is a simple static mesh, nothing complex. You can really get this sword. You can add another kind of sword. For example, this. You see this. This is another sword. I just need to rotate this. It goes all with 90 or 180 degrees, and this is another sword. Two things to say about this. The real slicing actor is the red one you see, and this is also the material used to slice. So when you will slice static meshes, this material will be the slicing material. So when you change these meshes, the sword meshes, you should align this. You should align these two objects. So let's say if I put this kind of sword here, and the blade is this, it's almost fine. The animation is fast, so you don't realize really how this will be. So you don't realize in fast animation, but you can align as you want. And the slice material is selected in the blade actor. So you open the blade actor, which is this child actor, which is this, and here you have the material. So for example, I want to set the chrome material, this one. I think I have also the chrome blade here, and this is really metal material, very simple. If I compile and save and I go back to my player, you see that the blade, you don't nearly see it, the blade, but it's not important, it will be hidden in the game. So if I press play, you see now that the slicing material is correct. And you can change this material as you want. You have some emissive material I set here. Let me emissive. Okay, you have this green, the blue, the green, and the red. So you can choose your material. For example, let's set the green here, and let's try this. Okay. I need to save this and to compile. And this is the green material preps. You see a lot because for the scene light, let's try the final material, the blue material here, and okay. So I will leave the red material, which is the one I prefer. So this you do it in the blueprint, the blade blueprint, and you will see, being a child actor, this blade, you will see the effect here also. So this is how you change the sword mesh and material. If your sword is not a static mesh sword, but is a skeletal mesh sword, you can simply add here a skeletal mesh. Here you can put this mesh here. You retarget to the same bone, the katana right hand bone. So I will set the katana right hand bone, which is the one that is attached, and then you select your skeletal mesh sword here. Perhaps you need to do some rotation, and until you find the way, the best rotation. And here you can or delete or hide this sword static mesh if you don't want it. So you set hidden in game, even visible if you don't really want to see it in the editor. I will put now all things back as was before. And let's see the next step. Now let's see how to change an attack animation or to create a new one. Okay, so let's say that I want to create a new animation. I select my player blueprint, and you see here in the slice editor part, I have already two animations, and these are the animation I'm using with the left mouse button and the right mouse button. So if I select one, you see the animation montage and the animation sequence. If I open the sequence, you see how this animation is made. I basically, what I do, I create these effects, the firing effect, the sword sound effect, and the trail. The trail here, you see if I play the animation, the trail is based on these two skeletal mesh sockets, Katana 0 and Katana 1, which are these, Katana 0 and Katana 1. And this is Katana right, is the socket that handle the sword. So when you create a new animation, like for example this, I want to use this kind of animation, which is a root animation. You can see here with root motion. When I create this, this kind of animation I want to use. You see, is a double sword attack. This comes from the Twinblade package, which is on the marketplace, which is very, very good package, I suggest you. And let's say I want to use this for my attack. How to do this? You have to do these steps. You have to get one of these already prepared animation, and you have to select these three effects, then you go in your new animation here and you copy this. So like this. And you copy where the attack starts. So, for example, in this case, I have here 2 attacks. So I will set one here. I will do this very quickly like this. And then I have another attack and I will set this here. So we have other 2 animations. Okay. And this is the first part. If you press play, you see the trail and the effect. Okay, and this is the animation sequence. Now you save this, you go back here and you create an animation montage. This will be your animation and we will set this already here, for example. So the new animation montage will be the right mouse button and this will be the animation played with the right mouse button. Let's see how to create and configure also this. Let's see how it's done. So very important, you have these notifiers here, the cut right start, cut right stop, and the reset combo. These 3 notifiers are mandatory if you want to make your slice in the animation. So with this you select in which moment you can start slicing a mesh or a skeletal mesh or a bullet or any other sliceable actor in the scene. So I do like this, I select them, I copy, then I go back to my new montage here. Remember just to select this root motion. You will see that when you select the root motion, because the animation is a root motion animation sequence, it will block in the A pose. Just select another animation and go back to the original and it will undo. Now, let's paste the notifiers here that I've copied before, and let's place them exactly in the point where you want the attack to slice. So this, then here, let's put like this, and then I copy again these 2, copy and paste, and here I do another slice attack, and here I stop the slice attack like this. And then the reset combo. The reset combo has it works in this way. Let's say that you can put the reset combo when you want to stop the slicing effect. So, for example, if you put the reset combo here, you can slice the meshes. Each mesh you can slice 1 time. Each mesh. So if you want to, let's say, slice the same mesh twice, you have to copy this reset combo, put it here. The other way it works is that when you click the mouse, left mouse or right mouse button to activate this animation, if you click again during the animation, it will reset this part of animation. So let's say you are playing this animation here, you click again here in this point, and you will start again the animation. It will not end. If I remove this reset combo here, you will not be able to click in the middle of the 2 slices. The animation will go on and will just start again after the reset combo. So this is very important for the slices and also for the control of the animation. I save this and let's see. So the new animation now is on the right mouse button. Let's see how this works. Okay, and this is how you select you create a new animation and you make it sliceable. Let's see now how to rig the player to a new character. I have my player. If you see on the right editor part, I have my skeletal mesh here, and I have also the animation blueprint here. Basically, is the running version of the animation blueprint, the classic mannequin running version. How can you use another skeletal mesh, another character? I got 2 examples. One is this, a mech style example. So basically I want to use this kind of skeleton mesh, I simply select this and I place it here. So you see, when I place it, this is the new character, it comes in the A position. So basically it's very simple. Right click on the skeleton mesh, go to skeleton, assign skeleton, and here you have to select my player skeleton. The V star is for Verumbit, so it's the V mannequin. This is the classic epic mannequin, so all the bones are fine. Just click accept, then select again, and again place it here. And you will see that it's already working. You don't need to change any other animation. Let's play. Let's see now how you can use another, in the same way, another skeleton mesh, which is this. Again, I assign the skeleton. I click the my skeleton mannequin, accept. I select this, and I put here over my my skeleton mesh. Let's see. Okay, and this was very simple. If you don't have an epic skeleton mesh, which I suggest, you can rig your skeleton mesh. So basically, when you rig, you have to consider, let me put back the mannequin, you have to consider that to copy these sockets here. So you just copy these sockets and then paste these sockets again in your mesh, because these are the trail effects of the sword and the socket that handles the katana. And you rig you retarget your mesh to a new skeleton mesh, and you need just to retarget this. Once you have retarget, you select the new animation blueprint and you just put it here like this. Nothing to do inside the editor or the player blueprint. You do it right from here. So you get the animation and put it here. And also you need to retarget also these. So you will do the same thing, duplicate and retarget. You select your new skeleton mesh and do the same. This and this. And when you have the new animation montage, you place them here in the same way. That's it. So if you need to retarget, you just retarget this, this, and this. Just 3 retargets. You place them through this editor here, and that's it. Okay, now let's see how to create and retarget your player to the Twinblade animation package. So the Twinblade animation package is already on the marketplace. I didn't do that, but I suggest you to purchase it because it's really well done. I will leave a link in the description. If you purchase it, you can use the animations and the animation blueprint inside your player animation, and you can be able to do this kind of stuff I recorded in my previous video. I will show you now. Okay, so let's see how to change from our player animation with the katana to the twin blades. First of all, we need to select our player, open the blueprint, and we need to apply the twin blades. How to do this? Simply create 2 static meshes. So we will not remove the katana, which can be useful in the future if you have a game, so you can just hide the katana. And first of all, I will hide the katana right now. So I make it hidden in game and not visible. So this, as I repeated before during the tutorial, go to get the part where I speak about the sword and the material. is just a mesh. It doesn't influence the slicing. The slicing is done with the blade. This blueprint here. This is the one that makes the slicing. So let's add the two twin blades. Simply select the mesh, add static mesh. This will be twin blade left, and again add another static mesh, which will be twin blade right. Now, the twin blades in the mannequin character are connected not like the katana on the katana socket. I show you here. I show you. This is the katana socket here, this one, which is under the hand, so under the right hand. The twin blades are attached on the I key hand, left and right. And you will see after because why they are attached, why the creator is attached to this hand, because he can animate them in a specific way. So we will do the same. We will attach them, so I get the twin blade L. I select the blade, which is weapon twin blade, this one, which is this one. I select this for both because it's the same static mesh. And I will attach the left one to the I key left hand, and I will attach the right one to the I key right hand. Okay, so what you see here is that the animation blueprint is still the old one, but in our game we will change this. You can do it both in the editor or in the level. I will show you the difference. So let's do the animation blueprint part. When you purchase the twin blade animation, it doesn't come with the animation blueprint. You have to make the animation blueprint yourself. So basically, you copy this. I created a slice folder in the Twinblade package. I could to put all the animation regarding the slice package, this package. So you basically copy all this animation here and this animation here. So this is about the running. You see, if you click the left shift button, you see the running part. And here you will have to change the idle animation with the twin blade idle, the walk with the twin blade walk, and the run with the twin blade run. So again, copy this and copy this, copy these in the new folder, and once you have done this, you will have changing the idle, the walk, and the run to the twin blade run that you have in the package. You will see the new running animation. In the same way, you will change the animation blueprint. So basically, you get the original one, which is this. You open, you get the this animation graph here, and for each slot, you change the animation. So sorry, I go back. Yeah, you change the animation. You get here your third-person idle run for the twin blade you have created, which is this one, and then you change also the jump start animation with the twin blade jump, and so on. So you do all this operation, and you will have this final result. So you have your character jumping and walking and running. That's it. Once you have done this, you just select the animation blueprint and put it here. So you see immediately what is happening, that our character now, it has this twin blade pose, it has the meshes there, and if I press down the animation, that I need to change the animation, not so let's see what it is. I selected from the Twinblade package, I selected two attack animation, which are the SP1 and SP2, the special attacks, which are this and this. So these are the animation, the slice here, and the special attack 2 is this kind of animation, turning around. Okay, So the same as we have done before when we were changing the attack animation for our character. So if you haven't seen that part, you can go back. You find a link in the description to all these steps with the timing. So change attack animation. We do the same operation. So we select this animation here. We copy from the original animations these notifications here, and we paste where there is the slicing. So this is for the trail and the sound and the special effects. This is the first one, and then the second one. The same thing we do for this attack here. So we copy, and here is really for you to find the best solution. There are 3 attacks in this animation in the SP2. There is one which is this, then there is one in the air, and then there is another one which is this. Now you see the katana, but I can remove the katana here from our preview assets, and I can put the blade just to see one on the eye key hands, just to see the blade. Okay, so now it's better. Now you will see the animation. This part here in the air, it's only thanks to the eye key that you can do this kind of stuff. So that's why you have to attach the blade to the eye key. Okay, so once you have done this, you have this animation with the notification inside of the special effect. You create the animation montage as we have done before, and in the animation montage, remember always to set the root motion, not the default, but the root motion. Again, you have to copy and paste the cut right start, cut right stop, and reset combo. So for these, go back to the animation part I was explaining before, and look how we did that. And I repeat again, the reset combo is useful to restart the animation from the beginning. So let's say you start your attack animation here, you want to stop in this point and start again, not continuing the animation till the end. So you place the reset combo. And it's also useful because you can slice the same mesh twice if you put the reset combo. So there is a cut right, cut stop, and then again cut right, cut stop. So you will slice the same mesh twice. In the level, you can slice multiple meshes. If they are very close one another, you can slice them all together. But speaking about the same mesh, you can slice it twice if you put the reset combo. And in this case here, I have 3 attack animations. So I have this first one, the reset combo, the second one, which is this in the air. So if there is a mesh in there, you can slice this, and then another slice part here. And whenever you are in the animation, you can click again the mouse button and restart from the beginning because of this reset combo here. Okay, so last part I want to tell you is about the blade. We didn't change anything in the blade, but if you see when you set up the twin blades, the left and the right, the slicing blade, the real blueprint that makes the slices, is not aligned with the blade, and especially it doesn't cover this blade, the upper blade here. So how to fix this? Let's go in the player blueprint. Now you see this one is the red one is the real blade, and let's first of all change the animation blueprint also inside the editor, because we changed it here on the editor, level game editor, but not inside the blueprint because it was not necessary. But when you need to align the blades, is necessary. So how to do this? You've got to change it on this animation blueprint variable because it's inside the construction script. Is changed here. So the construction script it's ruling everything inside the blueprint. So let's put the twin blade, and you see now you have the twin blade and not the original katana animation blueprint. Now we can, let me put this one like this, we can align the blade, the child actor, the blade, the red blade, this one, with the original twin blades. So we will align them like this, and also with this angle like this. Now we need also to cover the, let me align also this, sorry, also the, like this. So there you have this kind of line. You can be more precise, of course. I'm just making the tutorial here. You can use this angle here. Okay, so this is aligned, but it's not covering this blade here. So we need also to translate this. So I will take this up like this, and it's not long enough. So how to make it longer? We need to open the original blueprint here, the blade blueprint, and which is this. We cut the blade, and you see the blade here has a sides. So the sides again is inside the blade scale variable, because again here is the construction script ruling the parameters. So the blade scale is set in the construction script, and it rules all the way through the begin play. So you go here, and instead of 1.5 you put 2.5. Let's see, 2.5. So now it's longer than before. You compile, you go again in your player blueprint, and you see that now it covers almost all the blade. So it's done. You will be able to slice all along this blade here. And let me fix also the material of the blade. I want to put the chrome blade material here, and also chrome blade material here. So now it's done. Now we can go back to our level, and you see we have our blade all through the twin blades. So I click play, I do a quick test. Okay, let's see now the enemy soldier part. We have 3 steps: how to change the gun, how to change the slice position, so the death slice position, and how to rig the new character to a character you have on your libraries, so a different character from the red mannequin. First part, how to change the gun. So let's select one of the enemies here, and let's see what you can do with your enemy. So again, you go here in the editor, and you see all these options you have. You have the animation blueprint, you can change. You have the work speed, so once in the level, and this is the navigation part here, once in the level, you can select the speed of each enemy. So some enemy can be slower, 90, some can be faster. I normally set around 100, so they walk not that fast to be always in front of you. And you can select each one for each speed. You can select the gun, and this is what we will do now. So simply, here there is the gun. You need to select, the gun is a normal gun you can find on the marketplace, and you can select whatever mesh you want. Now I don't have another mesh for this. You can select another mesh and place it here. And perhaps you will need to calibrate this, so you will go inside and you will rotate or do whatever changes. These are the materials of the gun, so you can change also this. And basically is nothing special. When you have the enemy, you can change also the possibility to say can fire or cannot fire. Each enemy is firing the bullet projectiles. So you can enable or disable. When they're firing, you can select the angle, the minimum and maximum angle they fire, and the frequency. So normally I set 3 seconds, but you can change also this. Every 3 seconds they will fire again. Another thing you can change is the half cut material. So when you slice an enemy, this is the red material. We have seen before for the slice meshes that we were changing the blade material, but it's not impacting the skeletal meshes. Skeletal meshes, they have their own slice material, which now is red, but you can choose another material. And then this position here. For this, let me see. Okay, change that position. Let's speak about them now. Basically, I quickly explain when you slice an enemy, how the blueprint works. The blueprint will basically convert this moving enemy, to a procedural mesh enemy, and it will put it in that position. It will look for these positions here, which are static meshes, and it will choose randomly one of these. So basically, it's all done in really half of a second, so you don't realize what's going on, but this is the way to use procedural mesh on skeletons. And how to create these static meshes. So if I open one, you see that these are really static meshes, nothing strange. Let's see how to create these and how to place them inside the enemy. You go here in this folder here, enemy slice position, and you will see I put 3 death animations, basically 1, 2, and 3. And for each of them, you can, for example, select a frame like this frame here, and once you have selected the frame you want, normally is not far from the standing position, because when you slice, the enemy will be very close to this position. It's not down here, but it should be very close. So like this position here, you create a pose asset. So you just create the pose asset in the current pose, like this. I put it now here in the content. I call it test. And this is the pose asset. You see from the standard A pose to this pose. Once you have done this, you make a static mesh from this pose asset. You make the static mesh. Again, I put this in the content. I call test1. And this is the, if I go in the content, I have the pose asset and the static mesh. And this is the static mesh, the position you can impose when you are slicing your soldier. And what you have to do here, you can remove the materials, because we will use the materials of the original skeletal mesh, the red materials we have now. And here what you can do, what you need to do is, like all the other slicing meshes, you have to set the CPU true, the allow CPU access to, and important, you have to put a collision. In this case, I don't use this collision here. I can use also this, but I'm not using this kind of collision. I'm using the convex one. I put some higher values like this, and I use this kind of collision detection, let's say, that works better than the other one. So you can test both if you want, but I use this. So I save it. And I can do the same process also for the other positions. So I have 3 animation, 3 different poses when you slice, and the blueprint will select randomly one of these. So you see these. So again, you do the same procedure as before, and you have your final 3. Now I will cancel these 2 elements because I don't need these. I've already prepared mine. And these are the 3 meshes. These 3, when you select your enemy, have to be put here in the slicing pose 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so let's see how to change your enemy soldier character to a new character, so a new skeletal mesh. I have my 2 soldiers here, which are the same blueprint, and I want to use another mesh. So I go in my tutorial asset pack here, and I select this, this mech mesh. This is an epic mannequin, so it's compatible with the epic mannequin mesh, and I simply assign the skeleton to the my animation starter pack mannequin. So I click accept, and that's it. Then I select the mesh, I place it here, and also here, and you see it's already there. And you click play, and you can start using this mesh. If I want to slice it, you can also slice it. The only thing we need to change, for example, I can use also this kind of mesh. I need to, of course, to retarget, to assign the skeleton, sorry. And then I can put this. So I can also, in my option, I can also scale the skeleton mesh. Let's say 1.5 for this. And I can Okay, last thing I want to say about the enemy is that here on the right you can see all the options. You can change immediately inside the level, but there is much more you can change inside the blueprint. I don't want to go inside the blueprint because it's not the scope of this tutorial, but I show you really quickly. Every part has a comment, and you see this is the part where you fire the bullet, and then there is here all the part of the slicing of the skeletal mesh. There is the part where you detach the gun, where you use the random slice position, that position. You can put also more than 3. This is random from 0 to 2, so it's the 3 slice position, and so on. And this goes on and on and on. And also here there is the part of the slow motion, where there is the blueprint. I say in the beginning of the tutorial, this blueprint here, the time control blueprint, this one that controls all the slow motion of the enemy, the bullets, and so on. So this is the blueprint. You can you see it's not that complicated. I didn't split this blueprint into procedures or functions. I want to keep it all in front of your eyes here, so you can really get all this part here, and also the fire bullet and this, and there is something more in the construction script, just this. You can get all this and put it inside your character, your enemy character animation of your game or your whatever you are building. So it's just, if you're familiar with blueprints, you can really, apart from using these options here on the editor, you can really go inside here, and through the comments I put inside the blueprint, you can change almost anything. One thing I put, but I didn't put inside the game, let's say this package, is here as an experimental. I put this blood effect. Basically, this uses some blood material and particle, which I didn't make, but at the moment, in fact, it's empty. And this is deactivated. It's just catching the right position and angle to spawn this blood. And if you want, I wrote here in the comment, you have to get from the marketplace this. I've been using this for my videos. A few videos I have the blood effect activated, this package here. So if you want, otherwise you can put your own particle. This is the blood coming out from the skeletal mesh, and this is the blood on the floor. When you slice, it goes with the material on the floor. So these are a few more effects I put as experimental that I call here inside the blueprint, which I called here. So when I slice and I convert static mesh to procedural mesh, I call here this blood thing, and that's it. So, okay, let's see now the enemy cannon and how you can change the mesh material and all the options about the cannon. In the level you have also in the package, you see there are 6 cannons, and in the middle there is a trigger capsule. Actually, how it works: the player is walking, the cannon are not firing, so there is a variable set to false. They are following the player with an artificial intelligence blueprint, as you can see, and when the player starts overlapping the trigger capsule in the middle, they start firing. There is a light and start firing. Bullets projectile. And let's see now in details the cannon. When you click on the cannon, you have all these options in front of you. So basically, you can change the mesh of the cannon. You can change the destructible mesh of the cannon, which is this part here, because every cannon can be destroyed, as you can see from this example. Then you can change, when you change the mesh of the cannon, you can change the position, the rotation, and the scale of the mesh. So for example, I want, instead of this mesh here, I want a cylinder. So I put the cylinder, as you can see here, and I want to change the position here, and I want to change the rotation I want to change, and so on. So also the scale, so I can use these variables here. Now I put it back to the original mesh, Then you can change the material of the static mesh, and also the material of the sliceable mesh, of the destructible mesh. So when this mesh will be destroyed, you will change also the material inside these pieces. And also the explosion, how strength has to be the explosion, and if the cannon can fire or not. The frequency I set now to 2 seconds for each cannon, but I can change this 1 second, 3 seconds, so every 3 seconds it will fire a projectile bullet. And also the angle they fire this bullet. So basically now it's in horizontal angle between 5 and 7 degrees. About the cannon fire, actually they're all set to false because, as I said before, there is this trigger in the middle which rules the fire. I show you the level blueprint here, so you can see when the player overlaps this trigger, I go to get all the blueprints, the cannon blueprints that are in the level, and for each of them I set the variable fire true. And I unhide the light. The light is the red light you see inside the cannon, this light here. And this is useful because it shows you the direction is facing the cannon. So, okay, last step we will go through is the bullet. Let's see, first of all, when the bullet is used by the cannons and is used by the enemy soldiers. I show you here. This is the blueprint, so is spawned as a projectile by the enemy, and is this. So this is the bullet, and inside the cannon is also spawned here. It is the same bullet basically. Okay, so let's see this bullet. So as you see, there is a static mesh here that controls the bullet, which is this variable here. So if you want to change the bullet, you can use this static mesh. Actually, is this static mesh here, very small, and there is also as a variable the scale you can change. Actually, being very small, I set the scale 25, 25, 25. In fact, in the level, the bullet is very big. And the initial speed of the projectile. So this is the projectile. I set an initial speed 4000 that you can change. This is the trail. When you see the matrix effect, all those let's say glass spheres that are generated as a trail, the initial trail location is set here. So if you want to move this, you can change you can change the generation, and how the trail is generated with this kind of wave. This controls the sides of the trail. This is one information more you will find inside the blueprint. The blueprint is all this, so there is this part here on top is the generation of the trail, and then there is the explosion, the slicing part of the bullet, and so on. So you will see all the blueprints as all the other blueprints. They're all commented, and you can interact with them. This is the part where you create a procedural mesh from the static mesh in order to be sliced, and that's it. So this is the bullet. You can change the mesh, and you will see also the trail part inside the blueprint, and how to change also that if you need. Okay, last thing about the bullet is how the bullets that are fired from the skeletal enemy, the soldiers, and from the cannons, how these bullets slow down and make the matrix movie effect when they interact with the player. This is done basically inside the player blueprint here, and you can also change this with the blueprint. It's done with this sphere here. Actually, the sphere is not visible. I put the sphere visible. So there is this sphere here that has a scale which is 6. Actually, you can also change this this scale, and basically when the bullet overlaps any kind of bullet you are having the scene fired from the soldiers or the cannon, when it overlaps this player sphere, it will slow down, and the matrix effect will appear. So you can change this scale. Be careful. I suggest to change the scale between 4 and 8 as value, between 4 and 8. Actually, the standard is 6. Having said this, it means that 6 is a normal interaction. If you set 4, the sphere becomes smaller, and the bullets will be closer to the player when they appear slow. If you set 8, the sphere is bigger, so the bullet will appear far from the player, and you have more time to slice them. So, let's say if you are a beginner, put 8. If you are an expert, put 4. Remind that the bullet will appear, when you set 4, they will appear really in front of you, very, very close, so you don't have time to move. And if there are a lot of bullets, they will make a sort of cage around you. So you will play and you will find the best size. Actually, it's 6. I suggest to start with 6, and you will see. This ends the tutorial, and I suggest you also to check the documentation that you find on the marketplace page, and also to play the demo. And thank you very much. Bye bye.